Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive. We look through, well, all the noise to find insights that really matter. And, in today's world, with all the screens, the guidelines, constant notifications, a lot of us are looking for ways to genuinely distress, to find some real fulfillment, maybe reconnect with something tangible. We often feel disconnected, right? Even when we're always connected online. So today we're taking a deep dive into something our sources call an old secret to happiness. Talking about woodworking, yeah, the wonderfully tactile, deeply satisfying world of working with wood. We're drawing insights from woodworking, handcrafting happiness and well-being, which really explores the psychology behind it all. And our mission today is to figure out why building something with your own hands, specifically with wood, can be such a powerful antidote to modern stress, and how it contributes so much to mental well-being and just happiness.
It's a really compelling idea, isn't it? That something so, well, physical, so hands-on, like woodworking, can be this potent therapeutic tool for right now. It's genuinely intriguing. And we're going to unpack not just that it feels good, but, how it seems to actively rewire our brains a bit for calm, how it boosts confidence and actually increases happiness in some surprising science-backed ways.
Okay, let's get into it then. Our source points right away to this fundamental thing. This human need to create. You see it everywhere, don't you? I mean, from ancient cave paintings, those first carved tools, even huge cathedrals. Building stuff has always been central to, well, being humans, not just a hobby. It feels like it's kind of hardwired into us. But here's where it gets really interesting, especially now. Think about our modern work. So much creating is digital. We build complex spreadsheets, right? Design presentations, send out these perfectly worded emails. And yeah, you get that little flicker of accomplishment when you hit send or save. But what's the real difference, according to the source, between that and, say, carving a simple wooden spoon?
Well, what's fascinating here is exactly the tangible result you get from woodworking. Unlike that fleeting feeling from a digital task, actually turning a raw piece of wood into something you can touch and see and use. It gives this unique, really profound sense of accomplishment, fulfillment too, something purely mental or digital work often just can't replicate. It taps into this deep-rooted, almost primal instinct in us. Just imagine you're looking at a block of wood, right? And then through your own effort, you shape it, maybe into a bowl, something beautiful and functional. That physical change, it's like this powerful feedback loop for your brain. It's saying, hey, I made this. I can do this. It's proof of your effort that exists in the real world.
Right.
Way more substantial than just a file somewhere,
Right, okay. So once you tap into that creative urge, the source shows how woodworking also leads us into this other powerful mental space, what psychologists call the flow state. For anyone listening who maybe hasn't felt that, how would you describe it? That feeling of being totally absorbed, where distractions just melt away. It sounds almost like a superpower, doesn't it?
Oh, it absolutely feels like one sometimes. The flow state is that incredible zone where you're just so completely immersed in what you're doing that worries, stress, all those nagging thoughts, they just fade out. You lose all track of time. And often you come out of it hours later feeling refreshed, believe it or not drained. What's really insightful from the source is how woodworking, unlike maybe scrolling on your phone or watching TV, almost forces you into this state. There's just no room for your mind to wander off. Your hands, your eyes, your mind, they're all engaged. Fully, think about the specific sound of a saw going through the grain, or the smell of pine or cedar, the feel of the wood getting smooth under your fingers, that rhythmic motion of planing or sanding. All these senses are involved. They act like anchors, pulling your attention right here, right now. There's just no mental space left for that worrying internal chatter. And getting into that state, it's scientifically linked to less anxiety, lower stress, and just a better emotional well-being overall. It's a really powerful and natural way to find some mental peace.
And then, that moment when you finally step back from the workbench, you see your idea actually there, real. There really aren't many things that compare to that pride. Looking at what you've made and thinking, maybe even saying out loud, I built that. Doesn't matter if it's a simple birdhouse that took a weekend or some complex cabinet you poured hours into. That feeling is just golden, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That I built that moment. It's incredibly potent. Psychologically, it directly reinforces what we call self-efficacy, which is basically the belief in your own ability to tackle challenges and get results. It's that deep down knowledge that, yeah, I can figure this out. It builds this quiet confidence that honestly goes way beyond the workshop dust. And here's where it gets really interesting, like you said earlier, this confidence boost. It doesn't just stay in the workshop, it actually spills over into other parts of your life. Like, imagine struggling with a complex problem at work, maybe feeling stuck. But after you've just successfully finished a tricky woodworking project, maybe wrestled with a difficult joint, you approach that work problem differently. You have this new belief in your ability to break things down, find a solution, persist. That patience you learned fixing a mistake with wood, the persistence to master a new technique, it translates directly into everyday resilience. It makes you feel more capable, more proactive in all sorts of situations, even ones totally unrelated to wood.
That makes a lot of sense. And beyond that immediate satisfaction, that confidence, woodworking also acts as this really powerful tool for mindfulness, for mental clarity, because it demands such intense attention to detail, right? You have to be precise, measuring carefully, cutting just right, aligning pieces perfectly, assembling skillfully.
Yeah.
There's almost no room for your mind to drift if you want it to work out.
Exactly. That kind of intense, focused attention, it grounds you completely in the present moment. It's very much like mindfulness meditation in practice. In a world where our minds are constantly jumping around, replaying yesterday, stressing about tomorrow, woodworking just pulls your attention right back to now. You're focused on the grain, the cut, the fit, right here. So for anyone struggling with, racing thoughts or just feeling overwhelmed by mental clutter, it can act as this really healthy anchor. It restores mental clarity, brings you back to a sense of calm. It's like a hands-on meditation. And the outcome isn't just a clearer mind, but something tangible you created. It forces you to be fully present, which is, well, pretty rare and precious these days.
Yeah, it really is. Now, there's this common idea, maybe misconception, that woodworking is this very solitary, isolated hobby. And okay, it can be that, and sometimes that's needed. But for many people, it's actually a fantastic way to connect with others. We hear about people bonding with family in the workshop, passing down skills generation to generation, or spending hours making really heartfelt handmade gifts for people they care about. It kind of challenges that image of just you alone with a block of wood, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. While the quiet focus, the solitude can definitely be therapeutic, the social side adds this whole other rich layer of fulfillment. Sharing something you've made, something you poured your time and effort into, it creates a unique kind of emotional connection, something mass-produced stuff just rarely achieves. Think about the difference, the added meaning, when you give a handmade wooden toy to a child, maybe, or a custom bookshelf you built for a friend. That object isn't just wood anymore. It carries the story of your time, your effort, your affection. It makes it way more valuable than just the materials. It strengthens bonds, creates shared memories. It gives ordinary objects this extraordinary meaning.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. For all these amazing benefits, woodworking isn't always smooth sailing, especially when you're just starting out. Our source is pretty honest about the frustration factor. The miscuts, ruining good wood, the plans that just don't make sense. That feeling of confusion can really kill a beginner's enthusiasm fast. Which raises a pretty important question. What happens when you keep hitting those roadblocks? Incorrect measurements, wrecking expensive materials, confusing steps, wasting hours, or just feeling totally overwhelmed, not knowing where to even begin?
Yeah, those frustrations, they can quickly wipe out all those wonderful therapeutic benefits we've just been discussing. What should be a joyful, calming thing can very easily turn into something stressful and disheartening. It makes people give up, right? Before they even get to the really rewarding parts. It shifts your brain from creative problem solving into just anxiety about mistakes and uncertainty. It pushes you right out of that valuable flow state.
Exactly. And this is precisely where, according to our source, structured woodworking plans make such a huge difference. They really emphasize how clear, step-by-step instructions just remove all that guesswork. So instead of wrestling with confusion or doubting yourself, the plans let you focus purely on the joy of building. They help you avoid costly mistakes, stop you wasting wood, let you work at your own pace without that stress, and you get to actually experience the satisfaction of finishing something every single time. It makes the whole thing much more accessible, doesn't it? The source material, woodworking, handcrafting happiness, even points to specific resources, like Ted's WoodWorking Plans as an example, illustrating how you can get these really detailed blueprints for pretty much any skill level. They mentioned having over 16,000 plans, from super simple beginner stuff like a basic shelf, all the way up to these really advanced, impressive-looking designs. It really shows how this craft is becoming more democratic. How that path to handmade happiness is more open than ever.
Right. And it's important to see this isn't just about avoiding frustration, it's about shifting where your brain power goes. By taking away the uncertainty about the how-to, good plans really do turn woodworking into that therapeutic, rewarding experience we talked about. Instead of worrying, what's next, or is this right? Come on, your mind is free. Free to just immerse itself in the feel of the wood, the process, maximizing all those benefits, the flow state, the confidence boost, everything. It makes the deep joy of creating truly accessible to pretty much everyone, no matter their previous experience.
So when you pull it all together, what does this all mean? Well, at its heart, woodworking seems to be about so much more than just making furniture or, decorations. It feels like a powerful invitation to slow down, maybe, to create with intention, and to reconnect with that simple, really profound joy of making something real with your own two hands. It calms the mind, it sharpens your focus, it seriously builds confidence, and all while giving you something tangible, something lasting to show for it, like a physical reminder of your focus and effort. And what's really great is that with resources like structured plans readily available now, you don't need years of experience. You don't need a huge pro workshop to unlock these deep benefits. That path to handmade happiness, it seems more accessible than you might think, just waiting for you to maybe pick up a tool and start.
Yeah, in a time when life often feels so fast, so fragmented, maybe overwhelmingly complex, building something with your hands offers this powerful antidote. It's a return to something basic, something deeply satisfying, an anchor in the sometimes stormy seas of modern life. So maybe we can leave you with this thought. What simple, hands-on activity could you explore to find your own version of handmade happiness? What could you create that would not only bring something new into the world, but also anchor you in the present moment and maybe help you rediscover that quiet joy of making?